Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be that big.
That's what she said.
Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in for another statue review. Seems like it's been a while, right? If you're a regular follower of the channel. So this I did not plan to buy, but somehow it is here. So I know you're thinking Mr. X, I know you're extreme, but how can you not plan to buy something this huge, this crazy, and then it just lands on your table? Well, part of it, maybe I was scratching an itch because I haven't got a statue for a long time, but they had a fantastic sale on this I'm going to talk about. So if you're unfamiliar, this is made by Prime One Studio. This is their Alien Rogue. Now, the reason I purchased this was twofold. Number one, like I said, they had a fantastic deal. And then I looked at the collector's table video of it. You can actually check it out right here. And I recently met the dude in person. Absolutely amazing guy. And not only is he an amazing guy, but his videos are fantastic. They're way better than mine. So if you want a really good review of it, go watch that. But if you want to see what I'm going to say, hang on. So this is the Rogue Alien. This is not a true xenomorph. So you almost think like, hey, this is a king alien because there's actually a counterpart for the queen alien right here. Now what's really interesting is I actually own a king and queen alien from Sideshow that are about 1/3 this size that are actually part of an upcoming giveaway or a giveaway that we just did depending when you watch this. So this is a manufactured bioweapon to kill the actual aliens, the actual xenomorphs and facehuggers. That's why it's called the Rogue Alien, and you see a bunch of dead xenomorphs and facehuggers. He's actually tearing one apart in his hand. We're going to look at all that. So that's the background of this story. And if you're unfamiliar too, this is from the comics. So Alien and Predator have a big comic following. Is it incredibly different? But it's just a very cool concept to start with. But it's not without its issues, not only from a paint and sculpt perspective, but also just where the hell am I going to put this?
That's what she said.
All right, so first category we're going to talk about is concept. This is an amazing concept. Not only the storyline, but I think they put it into fruition really well. So as you can see, it's kind of this metallic floor. We don't know if he's on a spaceship. We assume it's another planet like LV-42. But with that being said, he is in the alien hive. We know it's the hive because we have eggs and facehuggers and the secretion and all of that with aliens, xenomorphs everywhere. He is stomping over them like a giant, killing them, ripping them apart, leaving them in pieces, carnage in his way. He looks ferocious and badass, ready to kill. And again, I'm not clear on the storyline. I've never read it. I don't know if he also kills humans too. Maybe he turned against them. But I believe humans did actually create him. But amazing concept. So cool. 5 out of 5 for me on the concept of this piece. Absolutely. However, one of the problems this has is with its design. Before I talk about that problem, here is the unboxing and assembly. So 3 giant boxes. So big I couldn't even get them all in the same picture, which equated to a large shipping cost we're going to talk about. They did have art boxes on them. Here's one of them right here. Art boxes are always cool, just not my thing. So each box had one layer. This had the base and some of the spines. Then here you had the head and the post and the tail, and then the body and a few switch outs in the last one. All right, design problem number one, it's too big. As I've been alluding to, you can get exact dimensions on Prime One's website, but it's 36 inches wide. Deepest part, 27 or so. And then the tallest part, I think is very similar, is, yeah, a little under 26 inches. So there's a lot of wasted space on here. You could have all of these dead xenomorphs. You could have moved under his feet. You could have cut that off. We didn't need this big thing right here that actually blocks part of the viewing angle for him. So essentially you could have cut it off right here completely, and it still would have been just as cool in my opinion, maybe a little less cool. The other problem, this is non-scaled, so it doesn't have a scale. You know, I'm doing this big alien collection. I currently have these two alien statues also from Prime One Studio. They're a big chap. This is a 1/3 scale, and then their alien dog, which is also 1/3 scale. So technically, those statues, the big chap, should be the same size as the one he holds in his hand, so you can see that's significantly different. So it doesn't scale well with others. Now, of course, those are movie-based, and this is comic-based, so it's an entirely different line. But we're going to see what it looks like. If you want to see what it looks like, check out the Extreme Channel social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link for that is in the description below. So that's design problem number one. Design problem number two, a lot of the things in here, whether it's the spikes you saw me put in the back, his arms, things are not incredibly tight. I don't think they're going to fall out, so I don't really want to fault them for that, but you would think that they would have made sure they don't fall out when you buy a $2,000 statue. Another issue I have is his feet aren't sitting all the way flush. No matter what I can do, that could just be a result of temperatures and fluctuation. Now, this is the exclusive, so there's one extra display option. Let's look at that. The first is you have a normal left hand that looks very similar to his right hand, or you can switch it out with him taking apart the xenomorph. Again, this is the exclusive option only, which is what I have. But otherwise, that's really the big things with design. I would say the other negative is the displayability, like we talked about. You can't even see it from here. I'm going to put him down low to start with underneath the shelf. So I'm only really going to see the top, which I think is a negative. You almost want to put him this high. Now, like I said, they do have a companion queen piece, which I recently saw at StatueCon. You can actually check that out right here. It's going to be in one of these videos. So design, the fact that it takes up so much space is a huge downgrade in my opinion. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 on the design. And again, that's not a bad score. That means it's okay. Paint and sculpt. When I first unboxed it and looked at the individual pieces, I was disappointed, especially compared to some of other Prime One Studio aliens. And there's still some disappointments in here, but now that it's together, it does look better. Let's dive into some close-ups. So as we dive in, I gotta have a disclaimer with paint. So whenever you have this moist effect, this gloss that you add, I think it covers a lot of sins within the paint, and I definitely think that happened here. Now, don't get me wrong, the purpose of the moist gloss effect wasn't to cover up those sins. It's because it really had that resin secretion where the hive is. But it's almost all over the statue, even on the alien rogue itself. So as we dive in, I think that there's a lot of opportunity with the xenomorphs. The sculpt could be a little bit better. These are smaller scale, and remember, the smaller you go, the more difficult it is. But something seems off a little bit with the paint. And you'll even see that like on the face hugger right here. It looks almost a little plastic. And I think it's more paint than anything. There are a few highlights with the paint, and no pun intended, in a good way. But even if you look at some of the metallic aspect here, I think that could have been done better. As we move to the back here, So notice, it's interesting on camera, it's actually showing up even glossier than it is. And of course I do have large spotlights on it, but I think there was opportunity in the paint. It's too boring, too plain. Even where his blades come back, that just doesn't look real, doesn't look natural. So I think that's a little bit of a miss. The sculpt is fantastic though. I mean, look at the ridges in the tail, all the intricacies in the body that we typically see in an alien. The really hard part about reviewing this is there's so much going on. I do like the inside of this egg, and I think probably one of the best paint parts of the statue right here. Almost looks like alive, like it's moving. The grate on the bottom looks fine, looks normal. There are some nasty seam lines I didn't really talk about. There's one right there, and then on the back of this. And moving up, again, could have been better on the toes and just the outer tips right here. Something looks really wonky with the paint that I'm not feeling. I almost feel if they didn't add the gloss that they added, it'd be bad. Where here it's not bad, I would just say it's average. But as you go in, one nice thing is all the hive, the secretion, is overlaying all this other stuff. So there's a lot of detail that went into this. I mean, I'm not a digital sculptor, but I can imagine that just the base alone took hours and hours to do. Now, as we look closer at the rogue alien really quick, here is the xenomorph he tore apart. Again, plain paint is kind of bland on that. So portrait, star of the show, has an inner mouth as well. Doesn't appear to have any eyes. And I don't know what to call this. It's almost like a helmet. It's obviously part of his body. It's not a helmet. But it has a nice variation in the color from that red to the purple. And then the spikes sticking out everywhere. Curvature of the tail, as we talked about, is fantastic. So I'm really torn. Like I said, I feel like I feel this gloss effect actually helps it quite a bit. It covers up a lot of the sins of the paint. Alien looks fantastic, as well as the base, especially when you think of the sculpt, in my opinion, though. All right, starting with the paint, I think it's a 3 out of 5. Again, the gloss effect hides some of the sins, I think. But 3 out of 5 could have been much better. Sculpt, 4 out of 5, though. Very strong on the sculpt. Love that portrait. Love a lot of things about it. However, I think on the Prime one, larger ones, I think those were probably both 5 out of 5. That's why I'm a little disappointed. It's just not as good. Is this worth it? Well, I don't think so at retail price. So retail is around $1,800, and then you pay $400 to $600 for shipping in the States. I had a 30% off special with Sideshow, so I ended up paying, I think, just under $1,800 all in, including shipping of those 3 giant boxes. That's not a bad deal, but we talk about retail price on here. Normally all in, you'd be about $2,300 to $2,500. Yes, you get a lot if you consider size, but that's still way too expensive. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on the value. Like right now, if I wanted to sell it, I would definitely lose money. Maybe even at the price I paid, especially with the shipping costs. I'm being very generous with the 3 out of 5 too, I think. But does this have the X factor? Is it a 5 out of 5 statue? It's not. It's huge. It's awesome. It's still a 4 out of 5. I'm still very happy with the purchase. I'm not going to get the Queen mainly due to space. And I think this is just such a unique concept. It's cooler. I think I would get a 1/3 scale Queen if Prime ever came out with that. But not in this scale, although it would be cool to have this matching. If you had a big table, you could actually have them facing off. I think that is the only way I would end up buying the Queen. What do you guys think? Was it worth it? Did I make a good investment? Throw that down in the comments below. What do you think about the Queen? I appreciate your comments because not only do I love talking to you guys, but you could win a statue with that comment. Hey, as we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Again, awesome piece. Well done, Prime One. I bought it from Sideshow, so thank you to them. But thank you for the sale. Thank you to you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.